Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I have some more interesting information that just leaked about the C8 Corvette, and even though I just released a video yesterday about the C8, I felt that this was important enough to get its own video, so let's just get right into it. Okay, so just leaked today are a couple different spy shots of the actual interior for the C8 mid-engine Corvette. We've seen some renderings and seen some drawings even on the Corvette forum, and today we get to see the actual thing. So right off the bat, I'm gonna compare what we're seeing here to a drawing that ZERV02 on the Corvette forum did, and surprisingly enough, it actually looks the same. So now I'm starting to wonder how much of the inside information that ZERV02 claims to have might actually be true. So with that being said, now I'm starting to wonder if this surprise reveal on the 14th of January might actually happen as well. The drawing he put out originally is about a month old and was definitely seen well before any actual spy shots showing the real interior were actually shown. So now the information he's been sharing with us is starting to look like it could possibly be legit. But anyway, let's get right into the actual pictures here and talk about what we can see. So first off, the biggest thing I noticed right off the bat is this steering wheel. I'm not really sold on how it looks. I think GM is trying to go too much with a futuristic approach, and it doesn't really work real well as far as I'm concerned. I want to see it in person before I totally commit to a certain feeling about it, but at the same time, based on what I'm seeing here now, I'm not a fan. If we look down here to the left of the actual airbag, you can see the favorite buttons, which look to be the exact same ones out of the C7 Corvettes. So just like with every Corvette, it seems like there will be some parts shared with the new one as well from the previous generation. The color combination here is definitely a strange one. I definitely would not want a white interior on a car like this, especially with black seats and red stitching. I know this is obviously just a test mule car, but at the same time, hopefully this isn't actually an option because there's all kinds of colors being blended together here and it looks very strange. Even if white was an option for the interior, it's definitely not something I would choose, so it makes it look a little strange to me, but like I said, these are just test mules, so this may not actually be even a color we're offered at the end. In this picture here, you can see the center console, the screen that they're using actually kind of looks like it's separate from the dashboard itself. This is something fairly popular in some higher end cars like Mercedes and BMW, and even some Cadillacs are doing something like this where the actual screen appears to be separate from everything else around it. It looks like it's going to be a fairly large screen. It's looking like at least 8-9 inches, maybe bigger. And you can also see on the steering wheel there where we're going to get a multi-directional pad as well to use for either the in-dash speedometer area, which ZERV02 says is going to be all digital as well, so it could control that, or the actual screen in the center of the dash. Now another thing you'll notice in this picture here is we get a nice big, what looks like stainless steel, possibly aluminum upshift paddle. Of course, the model we're looking at here is an automatic, so that would be literally for shifting through the manual options there. Also note, a heated steering wheel option. Not a huge deal, but definitely something the C7 lacked. This picture here is giving a very clear indication that the model we're looking at is an automatic, and kind of makes me wonder where the shifter would go for a manual option. So almost confirms the fact that we probably will not see a manual in this car. Now, as you can see the drive, the D there that says auto right underneath it, or the M button right below it that would likely put you into the manual mode with the use of those paddle shifters on the back of the steering wheel. Now over to the right, we have what looks like probably a drive mode selector with something interior wise actually covering it. My guess is that would lift up kind of like fighter jet style to get to the option to change your magnetic ride control settings and things like that. Now the interesting button is actually right above that. It actually looks like, I can't quite make it out, but it looks like it could be either a front end lift system or possibly something to do with the back end, possibly active aero. It's hard to make out what that button really is suggesting there, but it looks to me like I can see a wheel with possibly an arrow pointing to what would be either the front or the back of the car. Now over on the right hand side, we have literally a stack of options, which honestly kind of looks out of place for a car like this, but we have heated seats, cooled seats, the ability to sync the dual climate controls for both sides of the car, as well as setting your climate control to auto. And then below that, setting the climate control for defrost on the feet, all those things. It's an odd placement for it, but I really can't see anywhere else that they could put that aside from making it all digital on the screen, which is what I would probably do if it was up to me. This picture here showing the cup holders hopefully are a little deeper than they are in the C7, but we'll see. The entire center console appears to be covered with the actual interior fabric, possibly microfiber / suede. And again, on the center stack, you can see the little knobs that allow you to control the temperature up and down for the passenger side and the fan speed up and down towards the top. This picture here kind of more accurately depicts what the seats are going to look like. These particular ones are obviously black with red stitching, and they're looking a lot like probably a nice set of Recaro seats, or at least an upgraded model of the competition seats we have in the C7. They look like they're going to be pretty nice seats as far as pretty heavy bolstering to keep you planted at high speeds, so hopefully the final product looks something similar. Now, the one odd thing with the steering wheel here in this picture, you can see on the left-hand side there is a big silver button, which could potentially be something related to the cell phone use. But on the right-hand side, that same silver button doesn't seem to exist. The airbag could possibly be covering it up, but at the same time, if it's not, and that button's just not there, it's going to look kind of odd not being symmetrical. You can also see a little glimpse of the actual in-dash digital display here, which is again something that ZERV02 accurately predicted with his drawing that he released a month or so ago. Now in this picture, you can see up at the very top where the covering for the entire dash and interior is. It's kind of pulled back. Really gives you a nice look at what the center console is going to look like from the actual driver's side seat. You can see over on the driver's side door that we still have the window up and down button, as well as the button down below that you would push to electronically actuate the door hinge, which is something we have in the C7 Corvette as well as pretty much every Corvette I can think of off the top of my head. They've always been electrically actuated, but this particular car, like I talked about in my previous videos, might actually have electronic hinges as well, which would definitely be something interesting to see. In this picture, you can also see all the buttons on the center stack all the way down it are literally all for your HVAC. So it's literally all of the buttons for the heated, cooled seats, air conditioning, heat, rear defroster, front defroster, all that stuff is literally listed out all along that center stack. Now again, looking at this picture here, you can actually see a lot of similarities between the real looking interior and what ZERV02 had drawn. The actual engine start-stop button looks exactly like it does in these actual pictures. It is even drawn angular, just like it is we're seeing in the real pictures here. So it really makes me wonder how much of this stuff he actually did see in real life. The only thing in this particular drawing that I'm not seeing in the actual pictures is any kind of a digital touchpad, which of course I can't see everything behind that steering wheel, so there could still be something like that up there. He does show the drive mode selector further back than what it really is, but of course he was drawing all this off of memory, so it's possible he just misplaced it. All the buttons along the center stack there, though, are exactly where they would be in his drawing. The digital screen we can see a little glimpse of behind that steering wheel. Looks like it's going to be legit right there as well. The steering wheel is even pretty close. It's just connected on the two sides versus having anything running down the center. And he also shows, obviously, the shift paddles back there. Now, of course, this doesn't necessarily mean for sure that he knew exactly what he was doing here or that it was even necessarily drawn from the real thing, but it does give him a little bit more credibility, in my opinion, now that we saw these real pictures showing his drawing was not far off, and it's actually pretty accurate. So with that being said, we might actually see something on the 14th at the North American International Auto Show, and if we do, everything he has said up to this point is going to have a lot more credit. But anyway, guys, that's going to do it for today's video. If you liked what you saw, give me a big thumbs up. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section down below, and as always, I'll catch you guys in the next upload.